Hey everyone, welcome to Find Your Flow. I'm Natalie and I'm going to be guiding you through this low to the ground practice for when you're feeling a bit tired. You might have been at work all day, had a stressful day with your children, or just not feeling completely yourself. So make sure you have your at-home props at the ready and I'll meet you on the mat. We are going to start in a comfortable seat. So lifting the hips so they're a little higher than the knees, and you don't need to be in cross-legged. You can just come to a seat that feels best for you, and you can even do this first bit on a chair if that is also what feels most comfortable for your body. So whenever you're ready, we will find this space, lengthening our spine. So if we have been slumped because we are a little bit tired, can we just notice this? Finding a little more length from the tip of our tailbone all the way to the crown of our head, keeping the shoulders soft from beneath our ears and relaxing the hands wherever they fall most comfortably. And closing the eyes or softening the gaze and letting go of everything that's happened so far today. We are here now in this space. The hard part's over. You've taken your time to come to the mat and turn on this video. Appreciate that. And thank yourself for allowing this precious time to practice. Tuning right into our breath. Just inhaling and exhaling, in and out of the nose, nothing fancy, nothing special. Just being aware of the breath. And if our mind is quite busy today, can we keep bringing it back to this space every time it wanders? Ask yourself, how do I feel right now? Can you become aware of all of the space that's in contact with the earth or with your prop or your chair? Really feel this connection rooted down to the ground. And for your next 3 breaths, inhaling through the nose, opening the mouth, sighing your exhale out. Twice more. It can be a nice gentle exhale, or maybe you just let it all go. If you're holding a lot, this can be really nice to release once more. You can keep the eyes soft or closed completely, or opening the eyes if you'd like to, as we take the gaze over to the right side. Just moving the neck, sending the chin towards the chest, gazing down. Over to the left, move as slow as you want to, and then lifting towards the sky. Circling one more time this way, and then 2 times in the opposite direction. If we have a lot of fussiness here though, I really encourage you to move even slower. A little bit goes a long way, so just breathe here. And whenever you've finished, meeting back to center, we'll take the hands onto the knees or thigh space as we circle the body all the way around. Chest floats forwards and then spine comes back. 2 more times circling in this direction. And whenever you're ready, 3 times in the other direction. But I invite you here not just to do the poses because that's what we do in yoga, but really experience the postures and how they feel for you, your body, each of your body parts, the spine, the muscles, the joints, everything. Coming back to center whenever you're ready, lifting the hands and finding headlight hands, I like to call them. So curling the fingers in to make a fist and then opening, spreading the fingers wide. And keep opening and closing here. Really finding space in the hands, sending some love to this area that we use all the time but rarely give it the attention and care it deserves. Nice, one more time. And then releasing, floating the right hand down to your brick, block, at-home props or the earth. Reaching the left hand towards the sky, nice gentle reach over to the right side. Keeping this nice and soft, we aren't looking to stretch into some big shape now or ever. Breathing in, breathing out. One more breath here. Keeping the lower body rooted. You can do this, remember, still from your chair. And then lifting to a twist. So the left hand comes to the outside of the right thigh. We lengthen tall through the spine and then swim the right hand behind us. Fingertips come to our brick, block, the earth, the back of our chair, wherever we are. Keeping the spine tall, lengthening a little more with every inhale. Softening a little more into our twist with every exhale. Listen to where there's space. Really exploring this rotation through the rib cage and through our thoracic spine. Nice. Exhaling to come back to center. Floating the left hand down, right hand reaches tall and then folds. Breathing into the space in the right side body. Inhaling. Exhaling, coming into our twist. Right hand to the outer left thigh. Reaching tall, swimming the left hand behind us. And releasing, if there's space, into your twist with every exhale. Giving our internal organs a nice massage. Exhaling to come all the way back to center. We will jump forwards to a tabletop, all fours. We're not going to be on our hands and knees for long, don't worry. So we'll bring our wrists beneath our shoulders, our knees beneath our hips. And just giving our spine some love, we'll take all of our attention to our rib cage. Floating the ribs over to the left side. And then down towards the ground, lifting our tailbone, lifting our gaze, finding cow pose. Tummy's coming down to the mat. And then sending the rib cage over to the right and reaching it towards the sky, dropping the tailbone, dropping the gaze. Cat pose, really arching the spine towards the sky. Picture an angry cat. And then floating the ribs to the right, so we're reversing our circle. Down to the ground, lifting into our cow pose. Keep pressing lightly through the palms. Ribs float to the left and then towards the sky. Cat pose. Nice. Then from here we'll lift our tailbone, roll through the spine, come straight to a cow pose. And lifting the tailbone down, rolling back, cat pose. Being really soft, gentle and kind. And coming to our neutral spine, we'll walk our knees back behind us, keeping our hips lifted high. As the arms reach further forwards, we bring our heart down towards the ground. Puppy posture, Anahata Asana, heart to earth pose. Take whatever support you need to underneath the forehead. And just allow this release in the shoulders and the upper back body, the front body. Bend the elbows as much as you like to. Remember, keeping everything nice and soft. One more breath here. Before lightly pressing back into your tabletop. I'm just going to send some love to our hips. So stepping our left foot forwards into a lunge, but turning the left toe straight out. Hands come to the center as we find our lizard pose. So lift onto as much support as you want to. Remember, we especially aren't pressing and pushing into our postures here. You're keeping the back knee on the ground. If you want some support, take a blanket or a cushion underneath the back knee. And we're just going to gently circle the hips around a few times in one direction, a few times in the other direction. Lovely. Then coming back to center. Everyone bringing the right hand down onto your props or to the earth. We'll bring the left hand to the rib cage as the ribs spiral open to the left side. And we can keep our hand on our hip here, just enjoying this twist, or if we have a little more space, a little more energy, reaching the left hand towards the sky. Finding one breath here before coming all the way back, planting the palms, stepping to your all fours tabletop. Finding lizard pose on the other side. So stepping the right foot up, give it a helping hand as much as you need to. Take your support and turn that right toes out. Wherever we are, keeping this length through our spine. So if we're maybe a little bit low, we need a bit more support, we might find this curling, collapsing. So taking whatever support we need. And we'll just start to circle the hips one way and the other way. And coming back to center. Left hand comes down, right hand to the ribs as we twist over to the right side. Hand on the hip or reaching towards the sky. Choose your own adventure. Taking one breath in here. As we breathe out, releasing, planting the palms, stepping back to your tabletop. Scooting the legs to one side and coming through to a seat. So lifting your hips up onto as much support as you would like to. Bringing the soles of the feet together when we arrive here and opening the knees out wide, finding our Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. And the main thing is here, it doesn't matter how far our knees get down to the ground, but rather how much length we can keep in our spine. So really just soften the hands where they feel most comfortable. And rather than bringing our forehead down to our toes, we're going to think about bringing our stomach down towards our heels. So lengthen, 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 and keep reaching, keep lengthening as we maybe lower a little bit closer towards the ground, towards our heels, and stay here. We're just sending some love to our hips, keeping this softness, this release. And notice how close the heels are to your pubic bone space, so we can walk them out as much as we want to, or walk them in as much as we want to. Really find what feels comfortable for you. Finding one more breath here before lifting back up. Taking your hips off your prop. Bringing the feet long on the earth as we slowly release down to the ground. Bending the knees and bringing the feet as wide as the mat. We'll find windscreen wipers, knees relaxing over to the right and over to the left. Just 2 more times onto each side with your own breath. Coming back to center whenever you're ready. We'll hug the right leg up and in. You can keep the left foot on the earth or send it long if you'd like to, but really just listen to where there's space. We'll curl the forehead towards the knees, softly rounding through the spine and releasing, sending the right leg out, hugging the left leg in, curling the forehead up and releasing, and bringing both feet to the ground, lifting the hips up and over to the left, just the hips, and then hugging the knees in and sending them over to the right, finding a twist. So take as much support as you want to. You might like to bring some padding in between the knees or underneath the bottom leg. You might like to keep the hands close to the ribs or open wide, wherever we are, keeping the shoulder blades rooting down. So we're really exploring this twist through the spines, getting the blood flowing, sending lots and lots of love here. And if the feet are hugging in towards the bottom, can we take them a little bit further out so that the feet and ankle, calf, shin, knee, femur, thigh bone, all the way to the hip space, almost in like a right angle shape, but just listen to what feels good. Finding one more breath here. Before slowly hugging the knees in first, then bringing the feet to the ground. Hips lift up and over to the right, knees hug in and float over to the left. Notice where you want the arms. Notice the legs if we need a little more support or a little less support here. Each side can feel very different, so really take any extra love and support that you need. One more breath here. Before softening the knees, curling them into center, and then releasing the feet and bringing the hips back to the middle. So we're going to explore a legs up the wall pose here. So we have a few different options. If you have a wall near you, amazing. I'm going to use this wall so I can show you what to do. If you don't have one as well, I'll show you what to do with that. We just need to find some support, so lifting your hip and pelvis space onto something a little softer. So we'll come all the way up. And again, we can take support underneath the neck, under the head, the shoulders. Just really listen to what your body needs. And if you have got a wall, come all the way up towards the wall, lifting the hips up. So we're finding this really gentle curve in the spine, this really soft lift in the heart space. And then lifting one leg, lifting the other leg. Maybe you want to scoot a little bit closer towards the wall. If we don't have a wall, we can still do this. Just lift the legs up towards the sky, keeping the knees soft, the feet soft. Notice where the arms want to be. Maybe they're close to the body, maybe they're out wide, but just really snuggle into this posture as much as you can, feeling really comfortable here. We're getting the blood flowing all in the opposite direction. So if you're on your feet all day, obviously the blood stays around the feet and the lower part of the legs. And so we're really just shifting things here, getting new oxygen, new energy circulating around the entire body. And you can stay here for a lot longer if you'd like to. Another version which might feel good is if you have a chair, so you can bend the knees and bring the calves to rest on the chair, and the edge of the chair will be where the back of the knee is. So this is another option. Just really listen to what feels good and what's most accessible for you today. Either finding 5 more breaths here and then meeting us in Shavasana, or coming straight down to Shavasana now. Moving back onto your mat, you can even come to your bed here. If you're in your pajamas, double whammy, this is going to feel amazing. Coming down to the ground, either extending the legs long, bending the knees with the feet nice and wide on the mat, or finding some cushions, pillows or a bolster cushion for underneath the hamstrings to soften the lower back down, like that. After your fifth and final breath and legs up the wall, come down and meet us here. Put on any warm clothes, take a pillow underneath the head if you like, a blanket over the body, and really just cocoon yourself in this warm space full of love. Smiling in gratitude for this moment. Checking in with ourselves, noticing how we feel. Can we take any tension away from any space of our body? Can we maybe slow our breath down a little? More just to explore the full length of breath, the full expansion of the lungs, feeling the rib cage open and soften. Staying here for as long as you'd like. Or finishing our practice together by bringing the palms together at the heart space. Acknowledging the divine, gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful, inspiring light in each and every one of us practicing together. I thank you so much for your time and for your energy. From my heart to yours, Namaste.